I don't know what you all are talking about, but everybody I talk to is talking about what Donald Trump doesn't want to talk about. So let's talk about it. It being the conspiracy surrounding his old dancing buddy, Jeffrey Epstein. There you go.
It was.
You know, I can't quite say it on live television, but basically, you said you wanted to
Grab them by the pussy.
The greatest comedy gift in modern politics has always been Donald Trump. He's the walking contradiction who somehow made every day feel like a bad improv sketch performed by a guy who only rehearsed the punchline.
Martha, this black man is attacking me. Also, speaking of black men, you know who else should be in jail? Hillary Clinton. She's committed so many crimes. She's basically a black.
Trump's presidency was less about leadership and more about hosting a 4-year-long pity party. Baldwin embodies that self-pity in a way that turns it into pure comedy.
Holocaust Remembrance Day. And as you know, 6 million people were at my inauguration. I mean, there were just so many people at my inauguration, but the media refuses to cover it. It's so unfair. And one day I'm going to write a memoir about this struggle and call it My Struggle.
And when Stephen Colbert and Alec Baldwin take aim at him, it isn't just a roast, it's a full-blown demolition.
Chris, I'm going to start this debate in the quietest voice possible. In the past, I have been big and loud, but tonight, I am a sweet little baby Trump.
That is good to hear.
Trump is less a strong man and more a thin-skinned landlord who stumbled into power because people confuse belligerence with authenticity.
Our first question is for you, and it is about reproductive rights.
They're ripping babies out of vaginas.
The president denied that Attorney General Pam Bondi informed him that his name was in the Epstein files. So naturally, last night, the Wall Street Journal reported that Attorney General Pam Bondi informed the president that his name was in the Epstein files. For years, before he was, reelected, and recently, since they all got into office, a bunch of high-ranking people in Trump's administration have kept promising to release the files surrounding Jeffrey Epstein, his mysterious clients, and his suspicious death. But now, suddenly, for reasons that I legally cannot think of, Donald Trump seems desperate to stop us from knowing who Jeffrey Epstein's clients were.
He is the rare politician who sees being mocked as proof of relevance. But Colbert dismantles that by highlighting the insecurity at the core of Trump's bravado.
We don't know if he was doing the creepy crime, but we do have a cover-up. And just like the cover-up on his face, it is patchy and there's something really ugly under there. The incriminating details just keep coming out. For instance, this resurfaced 2010 Jeffrey Epstein deposition.
Have you ever socialized with Donald Trump in the presence of females under the age of 18?
Okay, that's a slam dunk. Just say no.
Trump's presidency, of course, provides endless fodder.
In fact, yesterday, he said he was surprised anyone even cares about the guy.
I don't understand it. Why they would be so interested. He's dead for a long time. He was never a big factor in terms of life.
That sentence was never a big factor in terms of word.
Colbert also highlights Trump's bizarre victim complex. Here was a man who lived in a golden tower, married supermodels, became president of the United States, and still insisted he was the most persecuted man in history. Colbert shreds that narrative by pointing out how absurd it is for the most powerful man in the world to constantly whine about being treated unfairly. His parody Trump can't stop reminding people how unfair everything is, how rigged everything is, how mean the media is. Baldwin transforms Trump's constant whining into an exaggerated tantrum, like a spoiled child who can't believe the world doesn't bend to his will.
Jeffrey?
Though I'd like to answer that question, at least today, I'm going to have to assert my 5th, 6th, and 14th Amendment rights, sir.
Wow. Not a great sign when the pedophile is being asked if you're doing a pervert ride-along, and their response is, I'd like to invoke the entire Constitution, the Magna Carta, the Napoleonic Code, and just to cover my bases, let's throw in the entire Cheesecake Factory menu.
Trump always wanted to be remembered as larger than life, a historic figure who reshaped politics forever. Colbert ensures he's remembered as a walking punchline, a man whose greatest achievement was inspiring comedians to deliver their best work. He thought he was the hero of the story, but Colbert and Baldwin expose him as the clown who wandered into the spotlight and refused to leave. For all of Trump's bravado, all his posturing, all his insistence that he's the best at everything, Colbert and Baldwin revealed the truth. He's a man desperate for validation, terrified of irrelevance, and incapable of taking responsibility. They don't just roast Trump, they strip away the illusion, leaving only the insecure showman who tried to turn the highest office in the land into his own personal stage. And the brilliance of their destruction lies in its permanence. Every time Trump reemerges with another rant, another scheme, another desperate bid for attention, Colbert and Baldwin are there to remind the world that the emperor never had clothes, just a bad spray tan and a fragile ego. Trump wanted immortality, but what he got was comedy infamy.
Sex, cults, and murder are famously dull. That's why they call that movie Eyes Wide Shut, because everyone was asleep. But if for some reason you're still interested in finding out who's on Epstein's list, don't be.
I would say that, these files were made up by Comey, they were made up by Obama, they were made up by the Biden
I'm sorry. I'm sorry, I didn't quite catch that. What did he say again?
But he's lying, folks.
Each candidate will have 2 minutes uninterrupted.
Boring.
Mr. President, I haven't even introduced the candidates yet.
Colbert dismantles the myth with satire that cuts deeper than any policy critique. Baldwin embodies the farce, reminding everyone that Trump's act was never one of leadership, but of performance. Together, they didn't just roast him, they defined him, and in doing so, made sure his name will forever echo not in reverence, but in ridicule. And the best part? Trump will keep giving them material, because he can't resist the spotlight, can't resist the performance, can't resist the chance to prove the comedians wrong. Yet every time he tries, he only proves them right. Colbert and Baldwin don't even have to work anymore. The punchlines write themselves. Colbert points to the revolving door of staffers, the endless scandals, the bizarre rants. Trump went through cabinet members the way normal people go through coffee filters. Use once, discard, and move on. The chaos wasn't a bug, it was the system. Colbert highlights that Trump didn't drain the swamp. He dug a moat, filled it with gators, and invited his friends to charge admission. Baldwin doubles down by exaggerating Trump's obsession with crowd size, ratings, and applause. This is a man who treated the Oval Office like it was the stage of a comedy club, except the jokes were all unintentional and the audience was held hostage. His name will forever echo not in reverence, but in ridicule. And the best part? Trump will keep giving them material, because he can't resist the spotlight, can't resist the performance, can't resist the chance to prove the comedians wrong. Yet every time he tries, he only proves them right. Colbert and Baldwin don't even have to work anymore. The punchlines write themselves. All they have to do is hold up the mirror, and Trump's reflection does the rest.